You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, political analyst Jean Franco. Jean, good morning and welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to all the viewers.
All right, Jean, I'm sure you were watching the first part of our show. Before we start, can we get your comments on the statements made by Sarah All Philippines co-convener Danilo Dayang-Hirang?
Well, of course, to the supporters of Sara Duterte, I definitely understand that the specter of her running for a national post gives fresh hope to her supporters, no? But to her non-supporters, of course, it's getting tiring and it's getting crazier by the day, no? We forget the ugly fact that, she is a Duterte potentially succeeding another Duterte. So it hardly represents change when in fact we really need to have a fresh change given the fact that we are actually trying to recover from the pandemic. There are a lot of problems that we need to address as a country.
Do you think we're seeing a repetition of the 2016 election scenario where you have a Duterte saying no, they are absolutely not running, but before the substitution deadline, they throw their hat in the ring?
I guess so, given the turn of events, no? And it's not surprising anymore that they will apply the same strategy, given that it worked, no, in 2016, and it also sort of frames their candidacy as some sort of a result of a strong clamor rather than an ambition.
Do you think that's credible and that's believable? That it was the clamor that made both father and daughter run for president?
Well, if their campaign strategists can do that, that can actually be presented to the voting public, and that will make it appear as if Sarah is just responding to a clamor for her to run rather than a strategic choice that has been thought about many months ago.
Now, some presidential bets have said that they're not surprised by Sara Duterte's move. Do you believe this is the case, or do they now have to do some serious recalibrating for their own strategies?
Yeah, it's not surprising anymore, but then the fact that she is a Duterte and that given her pedigree and that her father remains to be popular, then it tells you that she is going to be a strong candidate. Certainly not unbeatable, but a strong candidate. And the fact that their strategy seems to be working, given that it's now the talk of the town. There's a lot of buzz on social media, and the fact that her running or not running, whether she's going to run for president or vice president, is really just being talked about. Then it's succeeding so far.
Right. Well, she hasn't declared yet. We're not entirely sure what is going to happen. But maybe you can talk to us about other game changer scenarios that that might take place before May 2022.
Before the deadline, November 15?
Well, yes, and leading up to the elections as well, because you have Senator Bongo hinting at possible changes in his VP bid due to President Duterte's wishes. So there's also talk of a Duterte scenario looming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult to speculate given that, discussions are actually not taking place within political parties. So discussions are very opaque. So it's difficult to predict. And that also says a lot about party discipline and the lack of coherent pathways to recruiting candidates for public office, which is really not helping our democracy.
Right. There's talks of substitution swirling, obviously, following Sara Duterte's latest decision. COMELEC saying that it is high time to regulate this substitution option. Do you agree with that?
Definitely, definitely, because it sacrifices the integrity of the elections. People from different walks of life lined up just to register to vote. People who work, Filipinos who work in other countries, have to be absent from work just to vote, and yet we sort of just uh, candidates just pledge to run and not run, or file their candidates of their certificates of candidates and suddenly withdraw. That makes our elections very, very uncertain than it already is.
Right. So much uncertainty still there, but it's always good speaking to you. Thank you very much, political analyst Jean Franco. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. You're watching CNN Philippines.